Welcome back to the farm, everyone. Sun's already out, the wind's blowing. High of 90 degrees today. Dad was having some issues yesterday with plugging, so we had to dump his planter real quick. We keep getting small chunks of treatment in here. Last time it was Pioneer corn, this time it's on the DeKalb side. We really need to get a set of those Van Wall grates in this planter. They're in our DB60 and they are phenomenal insurance for catching stuff like that. They're not perfect, but they go a long way. We've got some great drying weather today. Our ground south of Lakeland, east of here, is really still a day away. We're going to start working some of it wet, rain in the forecast. We've put in some side dress orders with Helena for this mid-April planted corn. As always, they're calling for rain next week, so we thought we might as well get the side dress nitrogen on before this corn's a foot tall. It's growing like crazy in this sunshine and heat. We are taking the corn planter down to Katie and I's new farm that we worked yesterday evening. It's starting to gray off a little bit this morning. We are going to give it a whirl at planting some 117-day Pioneer corn. There's the bean field we planted last night. And a dog, I guess. That looks good today. This clay dirt's a completely different ball game. It is a dried off powder after being worked once. It's all fun and games till it gets a hard rain on it and turns back into concrete. We're gonna be loading up some Pioneer 1742. If you're a Midwestern farmer, you'd have to be living under a rock to not have heard about Pioneer 1742. Originally in chrome, also in power core and list. That's what we're putting out here. It's a very long season corn, 117 day with pretty decent dry down. If we couldn't have got this hybrid planted, probably by this weekend we'd have to switch it out for something longer, just because you start to worry about moisture at harvest. We're gonna give it a shot. I guess if we get bad conditions, we'll tear it out and try again. That's not the goal, but gotta give it not a shot. That's plenty deep. 2 inches. I might even back it out of the ground a little more. I think I'm gonna leave it. Is the ground getting warmer? A little bit. I had some sort of an error code pop up on row 24. That was some kind of delivery system issue. I'm running a test run on that row alone. All planting has stopped. Brush motor under speed. Check brush binding. Take a picture for my records. Let's go see. That looks really good where we planted. The planter's almost like a second tillage pass. corn jammed in there. Guess it says it's planting now. It's plugged. I'm on the second of the 3 fields here. There's neighbors running up to the north on completely different soil types. There's a guy working ground over here. Otherwise, no one's really running down here. I can't tell if we're making the right call or not planting this. This is the only field of the 3 that's going to be corn on corn. The other 2 are soybeans. We're switching them all to corn just to simplify management and harvest. There's really not that much corn residue out here. From our trip around the block this morning, scouting things and talking to neighbors, nothing is really working up or drying that well for it being 90 degrees. I've seen a lot of ground that's been worked the last few days, and I would say maybe 10% of those fields looked great. Can't explain why, just the way it is. At this point though, you just gotta start working it and hope it doesn't hurt you. It's not gonna grow in the bag. Those 3 fields are wrapped up and they look pretty good now. Sometimes you just got to get after them to get them to go. If we get the rain they're calling for next week, we may be out here replanting it anyways. Might as well get the long season corn in the ground so we can switch to something shorter next time. Out here on the farm, our dogs are basically an outdoor extension of our family. O'Malley and Murphy have been part of Allie and I's life since before we even had kids. They're 7 and 8 years old now. They are full of energy, creativity, and sometimes a little bit of destruction. Lucky joined our crew accidentally last spring when I found him abandoned out at a field. He's a little different than these 2, but they're all loved just the same. They have a few unofficial roles they've designated themselves. O'Malley's in charge of supervising the chickens. Murphy's in charge of herding all the other dogs and other animals, as well as running inside when there's a thunderstorm. And Lucky, he's good at barking at the coyotes all night. When push comes to shove, we want to make sure that when they're here as part of our family, they are happy and they are nourished. Let's be honest, a lot of the healthy dog food options are really a hassle. They're hard to prepare, they take up freezer and refrigerator space, and they're not convenient for your everyday life, which leads you away from high quality foods for your animals. These pups could stay out here all night playing fetch. But I've got something that I think will grab their attention. All of those hang-ups are reasons why we switched to Sundays for Dogs. It's made with real meat, fruits, and veggies, cleaner ingredients than those frozen meals, but you just pour it straight from the bag. No prep, no fridge, it doesn't smell like a chicken coop, just real food that our dogs actually get excited to eat. Except for Murphy sometimes gets too busy playing ball to actually remember to eat, and then Lucky tries to eat hers too. If you want to give your dog something better without sacrificing your time, this is it. The cat was even in here a second ago polishing off one of these empty bowls. That's when you know it's good. Give your dog the chance to try out Sundays for Dogs and watch them fall in love. Get 50% off your first order at sundaysfordogs.com/Trippy or use my code Trippy at checkout, again, for 50% off. Thanks to Sundays for Dogs for sponsoring today's video. Everyone check them out. I know our dogs enjoy it. Dad's taking over planting responsibilities. I'm gonna go look at a few fields. It is a warm and windy SOB outside today, which is great for drawing, bad for my safari hat and audio quality. Field cultivators have been over east working some ground. All the trucks are tied up right now, so I'm gonna get in the side-by-side, scout at ground conditions. Maybe I can plant a field of beans. Definitely don't think I'm gonna be doing any spraying, at least not on camera. It's the same theme everywhere you go. I've seen better and I've seen much worse than this. It's time to just open it up and go. Are running next door. The only field I saw in my lap around the countryside that actually looked decent was one of Bill and Stan Uphoff's fields that was getting work to plant corn. Our stuff's coming up chunky. I'm getting a break-in by taking the seed tender up to Wes, our Pioneer dealers, to get some 38Z63s to plant where Katie's working. A little wet right now, but it should dry out. Thanks to Wes for squeezing us in. He had another customer that needed to be loaded, and he actually delivers a lot of beans to people, which is really nice for people who are a little less mobile, don't have as much help. So he got me in here. I've got beans to go. We were discussing the weather forecast next week. It seems like anytime I mention the forecast, it's not good. The current iteration, 4 or 5 days from now, they're calling for 3 to 4 inches of rain. Now, I said the same thing last week and it didn't rain at all, so maybe it won't rain at all this time either. I'm not making this comment to judge anyone. I understand sometimes tough decisions have to be made. I have seen a few sprayers running just within the last hour. Don't really have anything to add on top of that, just the fact that it's a little breezy today. I believe the saying that fits here is that people with glass houses should not throw stones. Perhaps I have a glass house. Before I go off and plant beans, I'm gonna help Chris load some corn. Dad's gonna load some channel 21570 and then a few units of Pioneer 13050. There it is right there. This is a really good drought-stressed acre of corn. Very defensive, or at least drought defensive. I don't know about the other ones. We're gonna load these up real quick and plant beans. We are now finally going to plant some beans. I'm about to absolutely put the coals to this thing. Curry's had both tractors run next door. I think the field cultivator on the stubble finished up and left, and this tractor's got a Sloan service truck there, so they're having some issues. Corn planter's running up on the hill, so that's progress. I think that's what everyone's looking for right now. It's just progress. To all those people who kept saying, why would you ever plant beans in March? Look at this. This field right here, the situation the rest of our fields are in right now, unplanted. That's why you plant when you can, and March seems to work for soybeans. The field we're going to is just down the road, so it won't take us very long to get to. It's also square, so should be pretty good productivity. I actually lucked out tonight, and I'm going to speak very carefully here because it's a family matter. Of course, Dad's calling me. Hello.
How many pounds of that green air was there?
There's a note in the front seat of the truck. Is it in there?
Okay, Bob.
Anyways, I was supposed to be going to my son Lennon's first T-ball game, I believe at 5:30, so in 20 minutes. Unfortunately, he came down with a case of the stomach flu this morning in school. No, I did not sicken him or poison him or infect him on purpose. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Oddly convenient timing though. I know everyone has really different opinions on when it's appropriate to not farm, when you take time off, when you don't. Obviously it's crunch time for us here. If it wasn't his first T-ball game, I wouldn't have made it. I'll be completely blunt with you on that. You can't make them all. I've been able to make a few of his practices over the last couple weeks, and I've honestly really enjoyed it. He's still young, so he's not really taking it all up yet. It's a little silly to watch at times. I think that's part of the fun. I really wanted to make it to his first one. Even this busy, I was going to run into town really quick for 45 minutes to watch the game. Maybe this weekend will be rained out for his second game, which will now be his first game, or whatever. Either way, I'd like to at least get to the first one. Flip that off the culvert, that'd be bad. That seems pretty good. You can close your eyes. Sorry, lady, I wasn't waving at you. I was beeping on my screen here. We're latched, ready to plant. Okay. We are bumping the population up to 160,000 target. Seed beds are getting a little bit sketchy, and it's getting later in the year. We're trying to compensate for some lack of growing season with more beans. Trying to find that balancing act, if you will. Gotta turn the PTO on. I got it. I got it. I got it. Clear. Whew. That was unnecessarily loud. What I'm about to do to this field is not allowed in the great state of Iowa. Love to have that pole. Okay, we're off. Exactly as I suspected. It does not look good. I'm fine with the depth. I'd like to see the trench kind of zippered up a little more. I think if I put the pressure up on these, maybe I will get a little more chopping action back here. This one's definitely gonna need a rain on it. Look how soft that dirt is. It's not mud, it's like a firm dry, but wet. It's a firm wet, I guess is a better way to put it. We planted this farm really wet last year with corn. There was a ton of moisture out here when we got to it. It worked up better than this, and the field made almost 260. I think that's less about our practices and more about the benefit of timely rainfall and good hybrids. Don't tell me how that was possible, because it did not plant very good last year into corn, yet it yielded. I've seen some pretty sloppy bean plantings result in some really good yields. Don't think that we should prioritize planting poorly for the sake of getting things done, unless you're getting in May with a forecast that could push you into June pretty quickly if it verifies. What a lot of the true Southern Illinois farmers do is work a field like this and see how it comes up kind of cloddy and wet. Let it lay for a day if you have that luxury, and then they'll work it again. And the second time you work it, it'll come up really nice. We aren't waiting on the second time, whether right or wrong. We didn't do it on that cornfield this morning. We're not doing it here, and we're not doing it other places. If we knew we had a week of dry weather, yeah, we would grind this thing down to a powder and get a perfect seed bed. I think we're gonna let the seed do a little bit of work here, hopefully. Or we'll be out here replant. It's always a possibility. Quick and sloppy there. If you look closely out the east window, you can see Bill Uphoff planting some corn there with the red tractor. That was the one field I mentioned that actually looked like it worked up nicely. He said that our fields looked like they worked up nicely, so it must just be like a neighborly assessment thing. Everyone else's stuff looks better than yours. Right to his north is my Grandpa Jim, probably planting some corn, and then north of Grandpa Jim is my Uncle Dave working some ground. This is challenging terrain around here. It's real wet stuff, the sun's got to shine, and it can't rain every couple days like it has been if you want to plant in a timely manner. There's Dave there. We just loaded up at the next field with some Pioneer 4OZ57s. This will finish our run for the night if we don't get rained out to begin with. I'm putting the headlands on another field that probably needed quite a bit more time to dry. That over to the west does not look good. I saw some lightning a little bit ago. We may actually get rained out tonight. Come again?
Where are you now?
I'm just planting the worst spots able, so when I get rained out, I don't have to come back for it. That's wet.
How long before it rains?
Oh man, I'm slinging mud right there. I don't even want to look, Dad. lightning pretty good to the west. Here's the radar if you can see it. Tornado warnings to our north. Storm's kind of heading northeast, maybe east. I say we got 20 minutes till it rains. If it gets here, kind of looks like it's dying a little bit. I think every bit of 20 minutes looks like it's kind of dying as it's coming across, but I don't know. Jeff, you're gonna need rain on this one, buddy. This is an oddly shaped farm. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in it that make it very slow and not super productive. With the rain coming, I'm prioritizing the worst and farthest away areas of the farm. That way I get these knocked out, if they even come up, which I think they will. We don't have to come back and replant these spots. We'll just have to replant or finish planting what doesn't get finished. I think the moisture is actually coming up now. Or maybe it never left. Luck may be on our side this evening. Do I tempt fate if I finish this field and try to start another one? Look at that, just dissipating as it comes across. This planter's probably taken more abuse in the last 30 minutes trying to finish this challenging field ahead of a potential storm than I'd say it's taken all spring so far. It doesn't mind the high speeds as long as it doesn't get pulled in two. Population usually comes out about right at the end of the field. I believe both field cultivators are shut down. Dad might be folding up and leaving this field. I'm on my last round up here. I don't know if the data's not come through yet or what. It appears, I can't tell. He either didn't finish it or he finished it and the data's just not come through. I almost bet he finished it. If you want to talk about someone who could find another deer when they're in a hurry, it's old Marty. I bet he was pulling that thing 14 miles an hour. For better or worse, we're gonna try it. Going to the next field. It's not very big, so worth an attempt. The radar makes it seem like it's dissipating. Is it gonna rain me out? That's what I need to know. Despite being damp, this ground is actually planting really nicely. The rain's kind of intermittent. I think we're going to miss it. Only reason I hopped out is because I think I got a rock in one of my cultures. Where was that? Ah, right here. That's not a rock. It's a piece of metal. Or a spring. Need a hammer or something. Got it. This somehow managed to be a productive evening. Planted a few of our more challenging fields into soybeans, trimmed some trees, a lot of limbs that came with me, and I've created job security for the power washing guy. We made it back into the shed for the night. No rains other than that shower. That doesn't count. Sticks even came with us. Now I don't feel so bad about my planter being filthy. Looks like Dad found some mud and wet dirt as well. It's just been one of those days. Here's the old guard cat, making sure there's no mice in the yard or whatever cats do at night. And then Lucky, he barks at coyotes all night. And O'Malley, I don't know where he is. There he is. What do you do at night, sleep? Alrighty folks, me and my sun hat are gonna go in for the evening. We are making progress here. It's kind of a quality and quantity argument going on. Is it that great of progress? I don't know, but it is progress. Appreciate you all tuning in. I sure hope to see you in the next episode. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!